After getting completely outplayed in our first online matches, we decided not to give up. Let's see if this persistence can be rewarded in this episode. Going into the next battle, I wanted to utilize the lessons from the previous ones. And I guess there would have been no better opponent than the classic Space Marines. First, I wanted to be quicker in the early game of my opening. I adapted an early game strategy where the first building is not the boys' hut. Instead, we were focusing on the banners, so that in the later game we would be able to get the knobs as quickly as possible. Since the first few battles and this one, I did some research, and I learned the knobs are a very OP mid-game unit, so I wanted to test this theory. Saying that, we also did not forget our generator this time, as we would need the energy resource for later developments. The second lesson that I wanted to utilize is to stay aggressive on the map. As we know, map control is very important in this game, so it was super clear in the beginning, but my strategy was to immediately build a building on top of every captured outpost. Not only would this increase my requisition, but it would also give us additional firing power in case of a counterattack. I might be wrong on this one, but this is very unique to the orcs. Well, in order to stay aggressive, I tried the tactic of my previous opponent and went down the left flank to immediately bully the Space Marines. On the right hand side, I chose to capture the objective point. Well, as you can see, the bullying did not last long since the Space Marine commander was already there, and since I did not want to lose my units, I retreated them. This brings me to my third lesson. Keep the units alive, and this is what I implemented here. You don't see it now, but this would help us later on to keep a scary enough army and defend potential counterattacks against our opponent. Since we did not face any enemy side on the right side, I even decided to take the relic, because at this point, why not? In the end, it would give us more requisition. While retreating my bully attempt, I noticed that the commander did not really want to follow us, so naturally I decided to capture the second objective. In hindsight, this ended up a very smart move, because it put some pressure on our opponent. As you can see, the timer has already started. While he was being busy trying not to lose this objective and lose the whole battle on an objective timeout, we were able to build more banners, the pile of guns, as well as the boys' hut. In the meantime, we were also able to defeat some of his scout units. I guess he fortified them as he did not really see any more use in those. I don't know, we will never know again. But with the pile of guns, we were able to reinforce our troops with a commander unit, and with soon enough banners built, we would be able to get our wanted knobs. Before the knobs came into play though, I decided it was time for Big Mac, since I was fearing a retaliation by our opponent. Well, the retaliation never came, since he was very busy capturing this objective point on the left hand side. But it was because he was so busy on the left hand side, we were able to be brave enough and push down his right flank. Saying that, we made our boys very tough and were able to take his outpost. They were a little bit tougher, and with some reinforced units, our small scout squad in the beginning grew into an established mob that would be able to stand its ground against anything that would be thrown towards it. With ease, we were able to take away one of his outposts and make it our own. This would give us some strategic benefits since our requisition grew and his got smaller. We even kept our strategy and sent immediately some Gretchen units to reinforce the outpost. While we were doing that, the Space Marines made their way back to camp. But little did they know, it was a little bit too late for them. By this time, Big Mac was already ready, and the knobs were in the process of getting built. And once they were built, they were lustering for some big battle. While we were waiting for the knobs to be ready, we made sure that the right flank was secure. We captured the outpost and were ready to walk in to their base. After a few seconds of waiting, we decided it is time to rush the base. With our units from the right side, we quickly destroyed his defensive barrier while using the very cool teleporting ability of Big Mac and spawned right into the heart of our opponent's base. I must say, this unit is pretty awesome. I was surprised to see that he already built the building with which he would be able to build some dreadnoughts. I must say, if he would have been successful with that, this battle would have been ended very, very differently. However, because we were quick enough, his troops did not stand a chance. On top of that, our reinforcements were coming down the left flank as well. It is pretty cool to see that our two beginning scout units plus a knob unit would make that much damage to a Space Marine base camp. Saying that, at this point, it did not take long to get this victory in the bag. And with that, our first victory in Dawn of War. Isn't that amazing, guys? Well, looking at this battle, it makes me proud to see that we were able to utilize some of the lessons learned from the previous defeats. However, I'm humble enough to admit that this was probably an opponent of my caliber, and that if I want to become better, we would need to face stronger opponents and learn more. With that being said, we'll try to be more efficient in the early game and more strategic in the mid game, while trying to satisfy the orcs' lust for acquisition. I'm aware that this game was not perfect, but against this opponent, it led us to a victory. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this battle report format, and I hope to see you in the next one. Please like, subscribe, and goodbye.